Hey guys, in this video we'll be talking about how to save for a down payment for your apartment. Before we talk about saving, there's one thing we need to understand. We all know saving is very difficult. To save, especially for a project like this, is always difficult. But it only requires a strong mind and someone who is willing. So we'll be talking about 6 ways to save for your own apartment. Now, the first thing, number one, determine your saving targets. Determine your saving targets. No, you cannot talk about owning your own apartment and not knowing an estimation of how much the house will be worth before you start your saving. So, first of all, you must determine your saving target by knowing how much the apartment is worth and how much you can save to get it. So determine your saving target, that is number one. And number two, you must consider including closing fees in your estimates. Now, after you've determined your targets, after you've determined your targets, now after you've determined your target of how much the house would be worth and how much you are willing to save. Now, let's take for instance an apartment that is worth 100,000 euros and you want to save for it a down payment, let's say 20%, which is 20,000 euros, or a 5%, which is about 5,000 euros. Now you have to make that target that, okay, this is how much of a down payment I am willing to come up with. So after you've established that fact, then you include your closing fees. Now, closing fees comes in various ways. Now, first, the part of the bank and also the part of the agencies. Now, if you're getting an apartment through an agency, now an agency always requires you to make a down payment of 2% to 5%. That is the cost of the agency's fee for helping you find a house. So when an agent gets an apartment for you, 2% of the cost of the apartment, that is their fee. So that should be included to the closing fee aside your target down payments or your target down savings. So, and also the registrar, because after all the documentation of the house has been processed, everything has been done, then the agency in charge of the change of name, handling the certificate and the document of the house to you, also has its own charges as well. So that is part of the agencies. So if you are considering to save for a down payment, do not just save only for the down payment, because there are other expenses that comes after that. And also that of the bank. Before all the process, the bank will have to go series of checks and all that. And part of the expenses the bank will inquire from you, one, they will have to insure the house, fire insurance, they will have to do that. They will have to protect the funds they are giving to you, which means they will have to insure you in particular, should in case anything happens to you. Then you won't lose out, they won't lose out. So in our next video, we'll talk more on that. Now and again, they will also do earthquake insurance, and also they will also do what they call erosion insurance. These days we have houses when we have flood, overflow of the river banks, and then flood comes into the house, destroy things and all that. The bank will also insure your house against such, so that when it comes to any damages in the house, definitely you will have a compensation for it. So you have to consider a closing costs. So in our subsequent video, we'll be diving deeper and deeper to know how all this works and how they function. Now, number three factor you need to consider when and how to save for a down payment. You have to determine the account the down payment should be held. Determine the account which the down payment should be held. Now, one thing is certain, saving a down payment for an apartment is always difficult, because when the money gets in your regular account, we all have one or two things to do with money. We are always busy with money. So you have to determine a separate account from your normal regular account, which you always come in contact with. You know, we have this money syndrome whereby when you look at your normal regular account and you see a little stack of money, and then you just, let me buy this, let me buy that, let me just do this, let me do that. At the end of the day, the money is finished. So when saving for a down payment, first you have to create a separate account whereby a fraction will be saved in that account. So which is why it is very important for to as many that are aspiring or willing to get an apartment, speak to your account manager and let them know, okay, I am trying to save up to get an apartment and I need a separate account whereby certain amount of money or so amount of money should be transferred to it on a monthly basis, and then they will help you draw out the plan. So you have to specify that. If not, you only be running in circles and you won't be able to save a dime. And number four, you have to establish a timetable to accomplish. So you have to speak to yourself, you have to say to yourself, okay, for how long do I need to save to accomplish this goal? Is it 1 year, 2 years, 3 years? It depends on you. If you can say, okay, in the next 4 years or in the next 3 years, I need my apartment, then you have to create a timetable alongside with your accounts. So, which means on a monthly basis, a certain amount of your savings will be transferred to that account for the next 3 to 5 years. Depends on you. So, if you are able to do that, then you are already on the path to save for your down payment for your apartment. And also make savings a priority. That is our number five. Make savings a priority. Sometimes when we save to a certain extent and one or two things happens, and just like, I can't anymore, you pull out your phones and then you decide to use it for one or two things. But make saving a priority, especially when you have a goal, because why, you've already determined your saving target, which is our number one, our first point, your saving target. So you must make savings a priority, a monthly priority. A monthly priority. It cannot be a bi-monthly priority. It should be a monthly priority. That, okay, every month I have to be consistent. This is the amount I will be saving for my mortgage. This is the amount I will be saving for my mortgage. So you have to be consistent in it. That was why I said only creative minds or those who are willing will be able to do this. So number 6, which is the last, monitor your development. Yes, monitor your development. You monitor your savings to see if it has reached its threshold. And please do not monitor your saving development on a daily basis. If not, you will have an heart attack or high blood pressure that will prompt you or that will make you want to pull out the whole funds and to do something else. So if you are to monitor your development, give it time. Don't every day, every time, you don't have to go and monitor the development. Or you just have to be setting every month, this is the amount that is going to my separate account for my mortgage. My separate account for my mortgage. So you have to make sure of that. So if you are to monitor it, put on a timetable of 6 months, every 6 months, because you have a threshold, you have a target, you have a time frame that you want to accomplish this goal. Then you have to monitor it like every 6 months. Okay, this is the amount, this is the amount that is there after 6 months, but it shouldn't be on a daily basis, because if not, you'll be prompt to make use of that funds. And also, you can also speak to your account manager also. Okay, I'm saving, I need a platform whereby I can save my money that will also yield interest over the period of time before I need the money, and it should be flexible whereby you can take your money out at any time. So the bank has various platforms where you can put your savings, or where you can subscribe to put your savings over a certain period of time and get a particular interest on it. Because why? You are saving for your mortgage. Because saving takes time. I won't cajole you and I won't lie to you. It takes time. It takes time. And also, if you are making arrangement to this, remember, learn from those who have failed and follow the footsteps of those who have made it. Until then, see you in our next video. Like and subscribe. It's your boy Young Diamond.